Welcome back to the channel. My name's Fry. If you're new here, appreciate you tuning in. Today I'm going to be covering the latest FSD update for my Cybertruck. The version that just rolled out as of last night is version 14.1.7. The big takeaway with this update is definitely going to be the ability for the vehicle to park itself once you get to your destination. The interface does have a different GUI, or like a new tailored GUI focused on self-driving. So I'll go ahead and post a screenshot of that right here. And basically what we have with FSD 14.1.7 is added arrival options to basically say, hey, I'm in a parking lot, I'm on a street, or I'm in a driveway, or in a parking garage, or at a curbside. So these are options that you can select as a user when you basically start your self-driving to basically say, hey, when I get to this destination, if you know it's like a mall, you want to park in a parking lot. If you know it's somebody's house, you want to park in the driveway. If you're going to the store, you want to park in a parking lot. It also added the ability for you to automatically pull your vehicle over if it recognizes police cars, fire trucks, ambulances. Added additional speed profiles, which I plan on testing those out. Improved handling for static and dynamic gates. Improved offsetting in case it sees road debris, example tires, tree, branches, boxes, etc. Improved handling of several scenarios, including unprotected turns, lane changes, vehicle cut-ins, and school buses. Improves FSD's ability to manage system faults and recover smoothly. Added the alerting for residue buildup on the interior windshield that may impact the front camera visibility. And funny enough, before I got this update, I got that alert prior. So I did have an appointment about a week ago to go to Tesla and get my interior camera cleaned. It was pretty self-explanatory. I pulled up, took the vehicle, and I had my vehicle back in like 30 minutes maybe. But yeah, so that was pretty smooth. Arrival options, you'll be able to select when you're at your destination based on the GUI to park in a parking lot, street, driveway, etc. Basically, this is going to be in curbside as well. So if you're just dropping some people off, or let's say you're doing an Uber, or you're doing, one of those things, you want to do a cool little party trick to them, the vehicle will literally pull over to the curbside and drop them off. UI improvements, this is basically what I was trying to tell you before. You'll have a start self-driving with a tap of a touchscreen from park at any time during your drive. So you don't have to hit the accelerator anymore. You basically just hit the blue button and boom, there you go. Adjust settings, speed profile, arrival options based on visualization. So to me, that's a cool one. Brake confirm for the start self-driving is now defaulted by off. When disabled, start self-driving will not require you to press and release the brake to confirm engagement. So take that as it comes and goes. You may like the fact that you have to hit the brake in order for it to engage, or you may like the fact that, hey, I just hit the blue button and boom, you're off to the races. So hopefully we'll get unsupervised soon. That being said, I'm going to attempt to use this new self-driving feature today. I'm going to head out to my local supermarket to go get some groceries, and we'll see how this goes. So as soon as I get close to parking, or I get close to arriving, I'll go ahead, I'll grab my phone back out, and I'll let you go ahead and see how it reacts. I was trying to tell you, this is the new interface. If you look here, you have this new giant blue button to basically start self-driving. Here, you basically have the button still right there. All right, so I went ahead and programmed my destination. I'm gonna go ahead and do the self-driving, and it says standard parking lot, as you can see. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, I'm going to be focused on paying attention to the road, so I'll try to keep this in frame the best I can. I don't have a way to mount my phone yet for doing videos like these. But as you can see right here, we have your profile. It says it's self-driving. Where's it going? I'm very excited about this update. I knew it was going to be coming eventually. And I don't know if you've heard the latest, but it does appear that Tesla is internally testing CarPlay. If you're an Android or an Apple user, if you are an Apple user and maybe you've had previous vehicles with CarPlay, that might have been something that might have persuaded you in the beginning to not get a Tesla. I'm not gonna lie, it was one of the things that I was kind of weighing in on because I absolutely love CarPlay. And I've gotten so used to this new Tesla interface that I really don't miss CarPlay anymore. I did think CarPlay was more superior. You do get more options when it comes to like some of the apps that you can embed, and obviously, you know, receiving texts, phone calls, responding to texts. It was just way easier with CarPlay. But since then, I've been really used to the Tesla interface. I've gotten really attached to it, the smoothness. I have no doubt in my mind that if we do get CarPlay, it's going to run extremely smooth. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm unsupervised. I am not holding on to the steering wheel. We'll go ahead and try to zoom out a little bit to give you a better view. But yeah, so big news from Tesla, CarPlay, definitely much needed. One thing I will say that I do not like about my vehicle and not having a legit review camera is whenever my turn signal is on, I am no longer able to see my rear view camera. To me, that's a safety issue because if I'm in a turning lane, I don't know what's going on behind me. I like to know what's going on behind me and beside me. So take that as it is. You may not feel like it's a big concern to you, but to me it is. But once we get past this light, I'll go ahead and turn the camera back on just before we pull into the parking lot, and we'll see how well it handles. All right, so we are getting extremely close to the marketplace. This is the last turning lane before we turn into the parking lot. I'm literally gonna be keeping my feet away from the pedals, but I will be keeping them close enough to where if something were to happen, I can go ahead and intercept to prevent something getting hit. I'm curious, is it gonna choose the very first open space? Is it gonna look for a space that has more availability around it to kind of, you know, keep the vehicle away from a bunch of other vehicles? But we'll see what it does. So we're currently rolling up. It does look like it is very busy right now. It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, we're gonna be rolling up. We got a stop sign up here, which it should recognize. And it looks like it wants to take an immediate left right after this stop sign, or right at the stop sign. So we'll see what it does. It does need to come to a complete stop, which it did. I do have an oncoming car, so I do think it might make the turn right now. It's thinking. It's got a person. All right, so it is finally turning. And it's got a turn signal on, so it looks like it's looking for open spaces. It does look like it may have found the open space that it wants. Definitely on top of some lines there. So hopefully that auto corrects. And failed. So after that failure and getting out of the store, I'm gonna go ahead and try this again, see if that was a fluke, or does the Cybertruck just naturally feel like it needs to take up 2 spaces. So go ahead and we'll leave this parking space completely unattended. And we'll come up to this intersection. It should stop, then we'll be making a left. So it's not a far drive, but after that debacle with what just happened, I want to see, is it going to take up 2 spots again? It is a little darker out as well, so we'll see how well it handles it. Right now we got a bunch of shopping carts coming across. So I guess that looks like trolleys and some other stuff according to FSD. So yeah, once we get past here, we'll see what it does. Kind of curious, does it naturally just feel like it needs to take up 2 spaces? Because it definitely saw the lines. It definitely looked like it plotted and selected the parking space properly, but for whatever reason, it just decided to take up 2 spaces. So I'm gonna give it a second shot, see how it goes, and then I'll be testing it once I get to my house. I'm gonna see how well it does pulling into my driveway. And I'll go ahead and I will let you guys know how that comes as I do my final signing off for today's video. And it looks like blinker comes on way too early, but at least it's signaling. So, but I feel like it's signaling like several hundred feet before, well, maybe not several hundred feet, several feet before its actual turn. So destination is which is right here. It doesn't decide to pull directly into the front spot. Oh wait, maybe it does. Nope. It is maneuvering. And it looked like it pulled straight in. So that was definitely a successful parking job by the Cybertruck. All right, my takeaway, FSD 14.1.7 has some nice new features. It did park in my driveway, which was very welcoming. Not that I can't park in my driveway myself, but it's nice to know, like, if you put in your home for your destination, it's not just gonna go down your street, miss your house, it literally pull you into your house. That being said, I did notice a small UI interface thing that I think they need to adjust. The options where you're selecting your arrival preference, the parking lot, driveway, charger, etc. Because of the truck in the background being right underneath where that screen pops up, it kind of distorts the words. I'll put an image up here or a video right here. I'll include it so you can see what I'm talking about. So I feel like there's too much transparency in that. Besides that, it did park fine at the second location, which was which. The first location, which was the Kroger, it did unfortunately take up 2 parking spaces. I probably looked like a complete jackass out there. So I had to repark it myself. But all in all, not a bad update. I plan on testing out some more. I'll go ahead and I'll keep you all updated. Until then, let me know. Did you get the update? If so, did you like it? And as always, like, comment, subscribe. Catch you in the next video.